Hello, welcome to another Maths Wizard video. We're going to be taking a look at Venn diagrams today. So first of all, I just thought I'd start with a question which looks at some of the Venn diagram notation. So you might want to perhaps pause the video, see if you can have a go at this yourself first, and then we'll take a look at the answer. Okay, so you might see this P here. The P essentially means probability. So they're asking you to look at the information in the Venn diagram and find a probability. Then we've got this information in brackets here. Now it says A, and then it's got this little N symbol, and then B. So what this essentially means is anybody that's A and B. So you'll notice here there's an overlap between the two circles with a 13 in the middle. So that is basically anyone that falls into A and B, or any piece of data that falls into A and B. And you can see you've got a 13 there. So there's three ways we could write this. We could write it as a fraction. So that's 13 over 100, which is the same as 0.13 or 13%. So remember, with probabilities, you can write them in any of those three ways. It doesn't matter which, really. Quite often, fraction is the simplest way usually. But it doesn't matter. It's all of them are quite easy on this one, really. Right, the next one says work out the probability of it not being A. Essentially, when you've got this little line here, this sort of little, like, I suppose it's like an apostrophe, kind of like an apostrophe. It means basically what is not A, essentially, because that's next to the A. So the only bits that are not A are these here. So we've got 48 and 11. Now 48 add 11 is 59. So that's going to be 59 over 100, or 0.59, or 59%. So any of those will be appropriate for this. And your bottom one, so this is the probability of A, and then you've got this U symbol, and then B. So that means anything that's inside the diagram, essentially. So anything that's A or B. So we're excluding the 11 that's on the outside of the diagram there. So if we take that 11 off 100, we're left with 89. So that's 89 over 100, or 0.89, or 89%. Okay, so look out for these symbols. These are, there's another one that I haven't mentioned as well. This little symbol here basically means the whole data set. It means everything. So look out for these symbols. They do sometimes pop up from time to time. So what's more common is questions like this, where they're wordy questions, essentially. So it says here's some information about 120 people who go to a shop. 3/4 of those people buy neither a coat nor a dress, so they don't buy anything. 19 people buy a coat. 14 people buy a dress. Okay, and we've got to complete this Venn diagram to represent this information, essentially. Okay, so maybe pause your video, then have a go. Okay, first of all, let's deal with these 3/4 of the people that aren't buying either of them. So that's this little line down here, essentially. So if you do 120 divided by 4, that's 30. So that's the people who are inside the diagram, essentially. So 30, and then we do 30 times 3 to get 3/4. So that's 90. So there's 90 people on the outside of our circles. So there's got to be 30 people. These three numbers here have got to add up to 30. But if we look at the two numbers we've been given for coats and dresses, if we add those together, 19 add 14 gives you 33. So that means there's got to be 3 people that are buying both, essentially. So they're buying a coat and a dress, because 33 is 3 more than 30. So now we need to try and make sure that this coat circle adds up to 19. So if we then do 19, take away 3, that will give us 16. So now our circle for coats adds up to 19. Then 14 take away 3 will give us 11. So those 11 people plus those 3 people adds up to the 14 people that buy a dress. So now we can see if we add 16 and 3 and 11 together, that does make 30. And if we add that to the 90 on the outside of our circle, that does make 120. Right, another question here then. Got some nice percentage practice in here as well. So it says a school year has 78 students, 28 of them wear glasses. A quarter of the students who wear glasses are left-handed. And it says 30% of the students who do not wear glasses are left-handed. So we've got quite a bit of information to process here. So pause your video, have a go, and then we'll take a look. Okay, now on this one, if we start with that 28, well, that could be either one of these. So both of those numbers have got to add up to 28. So perhaps not the best starting point here for this one. Then it says a quarter of the students who wear glasses are left-handed. So we can now combine that with the 28 people that wear glasses in total, because they're going to be the people in the middle, the ones that are left-handed. So if we do 28 divided by 4, that'll give us 7. So there's 7 people in the middle of this diagram that wear glasses and are also left-handed. So now what we need to do is have a look at this one here. So if we take 27 away from 28, that will give us 21. So these are 20 people who only wear glasses, but they're not left-handed. Now we're going to look at this 30%. So it says 30% of the people who do not wear glasses are left-handed. So if we take that 28, those 28 people who wear glasses away from the total number of students, which is 78 students, that leaves us with 50 people. So there's 50 people left. So we now need to do 30% of this. So if we do 50 divided by 10, that's 10%, which is 5. 5 times 3 will give us 15. So that's 30%. So those people go here. Now we need to work out what's left. So we've got 21, add 15, add 7. So those are the people that are already in the diagram. So a good chance to practice your arithmetic here. 7 add 5 is 12, add 1 is 13, carry 1 over, 2 add 1 is 4, so we've got 43, then 78, take away 43, that's going to give you 8 take away 3, which is 5 just there, 7 take away 4 will give us 3, so that's 35. So there's going to be 35 people on the outside of that diagram that are basically right-handed and don't wear glasses. Right, final problem one then. This is quite a tricky one. So it says in a tennis tournament, 98 people took part in singles only, 34 people took part in the doubles only. So we can write them in there already. And then it says twice as many players took part in singles as took part in doubles. Okay, so what we're saying is this is double that, essentially. So there's double the amount of people that played singles compared to doubles. So see how you get along with this, and we've just got to basically finish this Venn diagram with that information. Okay, so what I'm going to do to start with is just do 34 times 2, because we know it's going to be double for the singles. Well, that's 68. Now, we've already got 98 people already accounted for there. So if we do 98 take away 68, that gives us 30. So that'll tell us there's 30 people in the middle who play singles and doubles. Now, what we want to do is just check whether the single circle is double the double circle. So let's try this out. So 98 add 30, it's going to give us 128. Half of 128, 64. So that 30 and 34 have got to make 64, which they do.